Alright, got another curse submission here from Alvin Sang. And I think they were saying that Ring 3 and 8 were particularly tough for them. And that they had to reload a few times to beat it. It looks like, you know, we got victories here, but they're pretty long runs, and it looks like it could be that every user may have ran into the same, you know, type of situation maybe that Sang was describing here. Okay, it's Prince and Plinks. It's an okay combo. It's not great. Plink is not so good here because mainly it just makes the Umbra banner units outside of Morsel Maker pretty weak to start with, and potentially just pretty iffy to build around. But Prince is a really good champ if we can get Reaper. Brawler can be okay too. Wrathful is like a never take, I think. It's not totally true, but we'll see. Then Pro Cart Cage gives us some stats, but it's, you know, nothing beyond that, obviously. Alright, we got Horned Warrior, Hidden Passage, and Packed Morsels. Packed Morsels are very good to start with, actually, because now we could feel better about taking an Umbra unit, potentially. Dominion, so be on the lookout for Damage Shield, or Daze. And Corrupted Mass, it's kind of the middle of the road Flesh Weaver, which makes it the second hardest boss for Ring 3, because Flesh Weaver, all three variants of Flesh Weaver are harder than Archeon, but then Kale Vampiric. Could be some tough bosses. Kale's the only one that's not super hard, but Vampiric can be tough sometimes. Okay, we just take Reaper. You see Reaper, you take Reaper. I'm pretty adamant about that. Even if I started with a Ritual, I think I would start with Reaper. Okay, this is interesting. We could get some early game help, which we might need, honestly. We might honestly need that, but I don't know. I will say the Pack Morsel's kind of weird early here. The thing is, Pyre Sparks is the only thing that does anything for me right now. Deepwood Oil, it's just not that good in general, but it could make me have an easier time hitting the Merchant of Arms. And honestly, even with my, I would say this, with a Horned Warrior start and a Slay start, a Reaper start for the Prince, then we're almost certainly going Merchant of Steel, so I can't really, you know, search for a consumer move or something at the Merchant of Magic, which means even all things considered, it's very unlikely I want to go to a Merchant of Steel with an Umbra banner compared to a Merchant of Arms with Pyramanes. And the Deepwood Oil just makes it easier to get value out of even some middling equipment, because now at least it's giving me 10 armor, which early on is relevant. Later on it's not so relevant. Crappy thing though is, like, you know, there's only one equipment for each of these, but we would take our Pauldrons, I think, if we wanted it. I think we just take the Deepwood Oil. Early game, I got Proto Heart Cage, I really don't need help. Alright, we have torches, take the backliners out. I am debating, like, maybe just leaving this, to potentially get, and we got the Plinks, but yeah, I'm thinking, like, I don't know, I can just, do I play into the fact of that I can have these Pack Morsels get a lot of stats, because if I don't get health, then this is a pretty stupid play to leave this guy alone up here. I think we just do this, and live with the fact that we probably don't get too much morsel value. I think we'll actually do this. That makes sense. We'll do that. Beautiful. Alright, we don't want to put the these guys in here necessarily. We want that. suppose. Yeah, we can live with that. I could reap this right now and get 15, but then I take damage. Doesn't really matter. Let's do this. And I could reap this next turn just to get the kill here. That seems fine. Or Cole, I guess. So 8 and he'll get the kill. That's good. I like this because I probably want that damage shield. Alright, we'll definitely do good here. This is not great. Hornbreak's the most valuable card here. Yeah. Definitely would have liked some other cards to... Alright, here very clearly we want the Prismal Dust. We need that for just... It's just the best Umbra common, generally speaking, in Monster Train 2. Still will go left here for sure, though. There's just... especially with Fleshweaver coming up and wanting to go to this Merchant of Arms, we gotta hit the steel. Plus we need like an actual tank. Endless and Dualism. We can consider Endless. Endless is good into both these bosses, both Fleshweaver and Dominion, because there's corruption to deal with, and it just refreshes the corruption. Well, we can take the Demon Fiend Plus here. Just to get through the early game. I mean, it's not really a unit I necessarily want. It's not the worst thing in the world, I suppose. So Dualism, unfortunately, not really working on any of these. Yeah. So what I could do is... Honestly, it's not a horrible play here, because, like, I don't know how much I can really build around this dude, but I can simply just put Damage Shield 3 and Endless on this thing, and that gets me through so many problems, you know? So, let's just do that. It's a weird one, but it works. It's highly unlikely we use the Horn Warrior when we already have a Prince. You know what I mean? It's like, if I have buffs, I'm just going to put them on a Prince, even though it doesn't technically have multi-strike. It doesn't matter. It kind of has multi-strike by the end of the game anyway with full Reaper Prince. So, because the ability just can be used every turn. And so yeah, I don't need to like hold off on any specific upgrades. We can just take a cheap 14. That's gonna be good too. So these are the things you got to do to make sure that you get through Fleshweaver. Unfortunately, even if it's not more mass, you know, Corrupted Mass can be tough too. So we'll just put him bottom floor. Put you up there. Obviously, the Ember is an issue. We'll have to at least take one Ember upgrade, otherwise the Endless is useless. Obviously, you know, the Endless is already useless if I don't get a Rubber Morsel, but I'm going to put that behind here. I think that is better. I guess we're maybe not going to get Slays up here, but that's okay. I think this guy's just going to do some work regardless. Oh, I get a Slay here. That's nice. Put these here for now. You know, I'll actually just do this. Whatever. Alright. Pretty sure we take the Ritual here. The Fortified Pauldrons is not too bad either, but as a Calcified Ember, we need to figure out what the Merchant of Magic situation looks like here. We still need... I mean, we technically do have a tank with the Endless Damage Shield 3 guy, but it's a little iffy with Reaper behind it, if that's the call, and especially if I'm going to overstack the floor. But I will say, it's probably Ritual here, but I need to think about Merchant of Magics if I'm going to do that, and dupes. It's a low roll on the dupes, minimal amount of dupes, super late dupes. That must be how the algorithm works, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's only 2 dupes on the map, which is the minimal amount, isn't it seem like it's always a ring 7 and ring 8? You'll always get a ring 8 one guaranteed, but, you know, I feel like when there is the minimal amount of dupes, it's always a ring 7 dupe. I feel like that's got to be coded in, because I don't think I've ever seen otherwise. But if there's multiple dupes, you know, if there's 3 to 4 dupes, they're always, like, earlier. Anyway, this magic's hittable. We might want like a better tank. Hellhorn Banner anyway. Trinkets are good in this combo though. Prior Remains we won't need though, because we're going to get that here. And Alcove, I don't know, hit or miss. Money might be nice. We can go either way here. Both sides are probably equal. You know, Umbra Banner at this point's probably useless, but not necessarily guaranteed to be useless. A Morsel Maker can always be useful somehow. Merchant of Steel might be wanted if we actually hit a good banner here. So we don't know what we're going here, but that doesn't matter. We're mainly thinking about magics right now. So this magic, gigantically better than this side, I would say. You got way better nodes. And then this magic's obviously, you see an Empyrean well, especially when this low amount of dupes you're taking it. And then this one's maybe not so good. It's takeable, but it's not super good. There's not a high amount of magics, and the magics are, you know, ring 4 at best here. But I think either way, still we probably take Ritual. We could take the Calcified Ember Perils here. The thing that sucks is... So we know we're hitting some magics, you know, at least 2, maybe 3. Probably 3, honestly, probably 3. It's a pretty good amount to try to get holdover Perils. I feel like speculatively it could be worth. We could take the Making of a Morsel if Umbra Banners were more of a enticing thing on this map. You know, it does open up Shroud Spike and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing that kind of sucks about this Perils is A, there's a Calcified Ember, B, there's What am I trying to say? Oh yeah, I want to take an Ember upgrade most likely if I want to play this Consumer of Crowns out. We don't know that long term it will, but if I can't really know because we're gonna have to take our boss upgrade before I hit the magic, right? I don't even know if I'm getting like what I'm doing with this perils necessarily, but on the other hand, I could just take these value cards, right? These cards will always be good even in their vanilla form. Maybe making a morsel not so much on this situation I'm in right now though. So it's either Prismal Dust or Perils. I take the Perils. Just opens up more upgrades of those Merchant of Magics to be useful. Okay. I am extremely tempted to take an Overgrowth Carapace here. You know, we could end up in a situation where we put Reaper Prince on his own floor. I could couple this with Crucible Extension, and it would just eternally grow. Which I probably will do. So let's take the Carapace and then hit the... I'm going to take it first though, because even though my plan right now is to put it on Prince, I could put it on Crown or Horn Warrior. And if it's a graft event, we want to lock it in beforehand so I could just graft it onto one of those units. 100 gold is always fine. I don't take this one too much, but in this... in the situation right now where I don't really have tanks, it could be okay. And I never take that. That's horrible. Well, those Bloater Letter needs to do something else for the honestly massive downside that it has. It just says 1 damage, but that means a lot of the time. Especially when I'm in a clan where I might want to go Fragile on a backliner at some point. Of course, I guess that's always risky with Dominion. Pretty sure we just take the Quilling Catcher. The only thing that sucks about this is it's the only one that doesn't actually help me right now. And this is... I don't know. Do we really need much fight? Do we need much help for this fight? I've got an Overgrowth Carapace. I've got a good champ. I've got a pretty powered up unit here. And I believe this would hit the boss too sometimes, right? I can't remember if this hits the flying bosses. It could. Which helps, honestly, with both these fights. All of them, really, but particularly the 2 hardest fights here. I could see going Nim's Oath here. I don't see, we don't want revenge. We'd like to preserve some damage shields sometimes. It would be good into the Kale fight with if a unit gets buffed up with a bunch of attack. I think we could take Nim's Oath here. Take that. Reroll's too expensive here. I could also take Stoic Plate Mail. I don't usually take this card, but it's 90 HP on 2 of these units. There's really no downside. I'm never going to take imps from this point on, really, but, and I don't even think it doesn't like silence Endless or anything. It doesn't silence Multi-Strike, so I could put it on either of these units, and that's fine. I don't think I'm going to buy Deployable, because I do need some money coming up into this magic, and right now I put 4 Ember into putting the Consumer down anyway. I mean, right now it's already a little bit awkward. I'm probably going to have to go Consumer with Prince behind. I don't know. Certainly Consumer has to go top, and Prince either needs to go middle or right behind the consumer. Otherwise, you're just going to die. Even middle is risky, but at least then I can put the morsels onto it and maybe get the overgrowth carapace going. But on the other hand, I could also just not care about overgrowth carapace right now and just say whenever I could go top with Consumer of Crowns in front, Prince behind, and then I got Crucible Extension eventually. 31 card deck though, it may be too late in this fight for me to find that, right? We could be in a world of hurt if we go with Consumer top, Prince right behind, and then we bottom deck Crucible Extension. You know, if that happens, we're not going to have a good time. It's still probably fine, because I can just put this Stoic Plate Mail on the Consumer, and then what is getting through that, right? I think we're fine, so... But yeah, I'm going to keep the money, long story short. So I do need it for the upcoming assistance. Alright, so you're going to go here, you're going to go here. We'll save this. I do need to, like, try to scale this guy. I always forget that these guys are AoE corruption. That is pretty annoying. Well, it is what it is. At least we got that. Let's give you some health, attack, this. I don't mind re-rolling into this. Yeah, Prince is just gonna die, so we might as well hit right now. Oh, how did that... I'm so confused. Oh, I see. It's not AoE, it's to the unit that kills it. I always forget how that works. It's weird because there's no other Extinguish trigger in the game that follows the unit back like this, so I always kind of forget about that. So yeah, we're actually fine here. Just save Reaper Prince by spamming that ability. Can do this just to get some armor, and then eventually when I get the thing, it'll start going, because we want to put the plate mail on this guy. So we'll do this. The other thing is I could do this, preserve his life. Also, I could just move this guy up, torch this thing twice, and then that dies, because we're already going to have some issue here. Well, we've got 80 fire health. We can take a hit. Alright, it's good that we put this down, because this unit dying without... Yeah, we drew pretty poorly here. Well, I could try to plank here. I just need to hit this guy with 2 hits, and then I can at least kill here. Alternatively, I could just get some flesh off. I think it's worth. Alright, that works. That's fine. I didn't get any flesh off, but at least I killed that and get a slay to accelerate the damage here. And I took a big hit here. Oh my god. One damage short. So we can't replay this guy unless we're getting perils or, you know, rubber morsel that turn, but that's okay. We kind of suspected that. I think we're fine getting some of that flesh back off. It didn't sound right, but it is what it is. I'm okay trying to redraw morsels for this guy. And we're just getting wrecked middle here. Fleshweaver certainly is something. If I wanted, I could do this. If I would have just drawn it on a better turn, that would have been more ideal. I'm a little curious. Like, I could do this. I don't even know if it's worth it. Like, that corruption on me, or just extra damage to the pyre, might just kind of like not be worth it. But I don't know. It's not a good turn to play Prismal Dust. Guess it's okay. If I hit this, I also just don't kill this thing, and I really can't take that pyre damage. I'm just going to limit the amount of corruption I'm taking here. I need to make sure that I kill the boss. I'm just going to have to live with some pyre damage here. Do that, then I don't have to deal with the pyre damage, and that dies. Man, we drew about as bad as you could draw. Where's a fucking Crucible extension, dude? It's almost like not even worth it at this point. 7. I think I want to hold this for the next turn. If I put you in front, you just die. So I could put you in the back. This is about all I can do here. Is this more damage than just torching this? I'm not entirely sure. If I torch this, let's see, 20, 34, I live. Yeah, that's gotta be better. Alright, well, looks like we'll take one hit from this guy, but we'll survive. I don't know, I feel like the draw order was so bad there. It was like, not only, like, do we just, like, not get, we don't get the Stoic Plate Mail in time, we don't get, like, there's just a lot we could get. We don't get Rubber Morsels in time. We just don't get, like, anything to help us at all. But that's okay. In my experience, it's not that uncommon to take a hit or two to the pyre from any version of Fleshweaver. It's just such a ridiculously overtuned champ. But it's probably what, you know, it's frustrating, but it's probably what the game needs, right? It's the only thing presenting challenge to a certain extent on a lot of these runs. Man, they just love calcifying my Ember here. I'm pretty sure the Rage Room is acceptable. That makes Horned Warrior a little bit more usable. But, you know, we already have the Space Extension. It's pretty slow, though. Right now, the Space Extension is questionable. Definitely taking an Ember upgrade, I can tell you that. I'm definitely not taking Kindle, and I'm not taking Reinforce. So what am I left with? I'm left with maybe Rage Room. I mean, a 2-floor setup is also doable. We're going to hopefully get a tank coming up. You know, Rail Beater or Steel Worker is the goal. But if I don't get them, it's not that out of the question that I don't. Then I guess I can still tank with Shield Steward. Am I hitting any other Merchant of Steels, I wonder? This one, maybe. I don't know. This side's pretty good here. Other than that, probably not any Merchant of Steels. I'm just thinking, like, maybe I can add some tank stats to a Steward if I don't get a tank. I mean, Reinforce could speculatively work on, like, a Rail Beater or Steelworker, but kind of like the Rage Room. It's a little slow, though. Take it. Okay. Very tempted to take a Morsel Maker here. Alpha Fiend is another Calcified Ember, and just providing attack, which I feel like attack-wise we're good. It's just our survivability that's in question. Morsel Maker, I can actually just, you know, hidden passage it up to overstack a floor, get around the need for any Crucible Extension shenanigans. It's flexible. Yeah, we'll take it. I will admit, right now, because we got that, I'm leaning toward going to the right. We need to see what the Pyre Remains situation is now. We have to reevaluate and start making sure that we hit some Pyre Remains, because they are not lined up well as far as the rest of the map goes. So this magic was the most questionable magic of all of them. And it's up against Pyre Remains, trinkets. I only have 240 gold, but that is enough to at least get one trinket of my choosing. And the alcove could be pretty good, could be useless. Hellhorn Banner, if it's not those two tanks that I pointed out, it's not too useful to me. Even like a Branded Warrior, Demon Fiend, all these things are just not really working for me right now. Really, still could be nice to get another tank though, but I may just have to settle for these Shield Stewards. Is there any Pyre Remains attached to a Merchant of Steel, I wonder? There's this one, but it's opposite of Dupe. I mean, we don't have to dupe. If I go left, it's the chance at tank is nice. Double stack I could use on either Ritual or Prismal Dust. Consumer Move I can use on Prismal Dust. Holdover I can use on Perils. That's actually the best thing I could find, really, even though I don't have a drop grade. But is it even that good? I will say, if I don't find Void Binding or Furnace Tap, it's a Holdover Perils is only good if I get like Spell Chain to combine with it. I will have the gold though, so I can re-roll. But let's think like it. What's a pretty bad brick scenario? Let's say I don't get a banner that I want, and I don't get Holdover, I don't get Spell Chain, I don't get Double Stack, I don't get Consumer Move. That's pretty unlikely to get those specific four as not the upgrades. But let's say I don't get Holdover, Perils. Are any of those other upgrades really all that good? Maybe Consumer Move for the Prismal Dust is pretty good, but beyond that, I don't know. Kind of just want to go to the right, I think, just after reevaluating. Like, the fact that I need Pyre Health and these other Pyre Health nodes are much worse, right? Like a Merchant of Arms with an Armory, Pyre Remains. Sure, I got the Deepwood Oil, but it's hard to explain. It's just like Merchant of Arms later just aren't as useful as the Ring 3 one. I kind of need to build around them and stuff. That being said, though, this is not pointless, because both these rooms that I have and the equipment that I currently have do want deployable. But I'd like to hit trinkets to see if I can assist with that in the first place so that I don't need it, right? And then, you know, Merchant Maze, Steel, yeah, giving up a dupe is tough. Dupe is the toughest thing to give up. I think we gotta take the Pyre Health while we can. Don't think this is a deck where Shadow Box works, but Chain of Gems will be good. That's for sure getting hit. First though, just for the shit of it, let's check the alcove. I'm open to removing that, since we already kind of don't want to hit that arms anyway, and I only have one equipment. That may be the only equipment I ever have. I guess I technically have two, but I don't know, it's not that good. Definitely get better stuff. Alright, that might work. We got this. Oh, here we go. Definitely glad I made that trade, even if the housing is probably not doing necessarily anything for me, but we'll just have to see. Chain of Gems, just really good. It'll allow me to get some damage shield on Prince. And should I make a removal here? Or should I steal? We go either way here. We probably want to hit the steal though, since it is our best steal to hit, unless we want to hit that one. But like I said, the dupe is very hard to give up. Even when you got a middling card to dupe, it's just a predictable way to add value to your deck. Is hard to pass up. This is tough. We don't have a drop grade, and we don't have a deck that is necessarily super conducive to a good bottom floor setup, but and the thresholds on damage here are not good for these Scourge Shufflers at 4 health. I got the Hornbreak, that's about it. It's the only thing that cleanly deals with those. It'll be 2 pings otherwise for each of these. And then putting the draw on top of that is tough, but I think we got to do it. We want to do a bottom floor setup with this anyway. So we got the Rage Room. So since it's Rage Rune opener, we're just going to go here. And then here, we'll go Rage Room. I'm actually going to put Hornbreaker on its own floor, I think, just so I can feed it some morsels. Alright, so could try to feed this a kill, but we'll just hope we 1 out of 3 to the thing. I mean, is there any advantage to me doing this right now? It just means that guy gets the kill. I just realized I gave this guy the damage shield. That might be okay for what we're trying to do, but I will put the damage shield here. Yeah, we'll just give Hornbreaker Prince this kill, which means I don't want to put this in, I guess. So if I put it in, then, you know. Well, okay, we can do this. This works. What am I doing? Let's do that. I'm gonna eat it now. Don't need to lose my damage shield. That was pointless. So I did completely blanked that I had 2 hidden passages in hand. I shouldn't have put that unit down otherwise, but this one works. Alright, we luck out there and get that, so that's good. Very tempted to play this because I gotta get rid of these at some point. Alright, I'll give you all of this. If I do this, does it change anything? It doesn't really change any threshold right now. If I do this, though, it might. Because I'm getting what? I'm getting 25 now, so I'm at 110. I kill that. Just makes the boss kill easier. I think I'm going to try to get rid of this while I can. I'll try to take out one of these. We're already killing this, so we don't need to take any pyro damage. This guy here is stealing kills for my Prince, though, which is not good. But, you know, once we get the, I guess we're bottom decking the Crucible extension yet again. So, you could argue the sap here is pretty pointless, because these planks are unlikely to actually kill these without, even if I play 2 of them. So we could just like not play anything here. That might be fine. So I want to get some damage in here. As much as I want to double torch this, these guys should, let's see, 2. Yeah, I'll take at least one of them out. I can prime the one in the back. Man, we really doubled. I can't. I gotta kill at least one of these. I can't deal with that more Scourge Shuffling. Just insane fucking draws here. It's just like, dude, you can't even give me the Morsel Maker. It's just like, I mean, granted, at this point, the morsel maker, it's like pack morsels now. It's just like, what the hell, man? Can I at least get this lucky plink here? Okay, at least I got the lucky plink. It didn't really change anything, but at least I got it. I don't know. We're going to have a rough time against this guy. The damage shield's not too useful here. I'm pretty sure I outstat him, though. Yeah. Do that for good measure. I'm not even going to give Crucible Extension the satisfaction of getting played here. You gotta stop sucking ass, buddy. So he still might want to hit the Merchant of Arms just so I could deploy the cheaper Rage Room to guarantee that, you know, whatchamacallit comes out first. And cheaper. Branding right. Well, it's unlikely that we would find One Harm Tome at this point. It's about a 20% chance, but that's still a chance. It's still a non-zero chance. And branding rate's not so good if I get that. It also has Calcified Ember attached, which sucks. Rage Serum we could take just for some minor help, but a box is probably not very good. I mean, we do have the Consumer of Crowns, but whatever. I'm not gonna like build around this thing. I'm not gonna consume remove it if I get the chance. Like, and in that same regard, the Rage Serum just doesn't have much upside. It's like it's okay, but I don't have a drop grade. I've got a somewhat large deck. The only card I would take here is Branding Right, but the Calcified Ember has me hesitant too because it's already been hard enough for me to get these things out. So do I add a pretty middling card? I mean, Stoic Plate Mail already accomplishes what I would want from it, and it does it so much better. Same with Prismal Dust, but maybe I still want another card like this just because it is pretty annoying dealing with the Seraph of Dominion. This is at least something I could use in my backliners to pretty much make it so they don't ever have to worry about dying to the AoE corruption for the most part. Granted, we have a soft counter with a Nim's Oath there, but I don't know. I just don't think I can take this for a Calcified Ember. I would take it, I think, if there was no Calcified Ember here. But we're already having a hard enough time drawing through this deck, so can't be adding middling cards. In the same regard, it's like Amber Cash would be maybe something I could take here. I could see a world where I take Prism Retrieval, though. If I take Prism Retrieval, unfortunately it's Calcified Ember, so probably won't take it, but there's a world where I just don't play Consumer of Crowns, and I can pretty easily play every other unit out in deployment. I'll just have to get rid of the Spear Stewards, which I do want to get rid of anyway, and then Prism Retrieval, I can then reduce Consumer of Crowns to a 0 cost. He would be locked in at 0 cost, or, you know, 1 or 2 cost, and or even a 3 cost, and, you know, then it's endless and kind of an answer to Dominion to some degree. But, you know, I just don't know. I just don't know. Also could just use it to pull out Horned Warrior to get some attack buff. It's not a huge one, but it could be okay. And then everything else is not so great. We do still kind of lack AoE, and we're kind of past the point where we would find much good AoE. And Excavation Eruption is AoE, it's just a very bad form of it. I mean, it's good when it hits, and it's useless when it doesn't. You know, back in the day it used to hit 4 times. I don't know why it got nerfed. I'm talking way back in the day. Monster Train 1, like early patches. And I took the card quite often back then, I feel. At least compared, like, I never take it past the nerf. For what it's worth, it did used to cost 4, but that really wasn't much of an issue. The fact that it hit 4 times made it, you know, it's just, you know, maybe the math isn't making sense on paper, but to me, it just felt like 4 times hitting was pretty guaranteed that you got your stuff refunded. With 3, it just happens too often that I just don't get the stuff refunded, and then it's a devastating play. And it's, I don't know. It's just not that great. It's another case where it's like, if the Calcified Ember wasn't there, I might take this Prism Retrieval. I don't think we're taking it, though. So we go either way here. We have the Pyrostone Housing. I have removals I want to make. Umbra Banner, probably not super useful, but I would probably take another Morsel Maker, honestly, if it's offered. I wouldn't take anything else. Merchant of Steel, I would maybe do like a Smidge Stone on Consumer would be pretty interesting. That would allow me to probably make it. I would have. Maybe I should have thought about the Prism Retrieval more, but whatever. A Multi-Strike. I mean, I could add like Multi-Strike to Consumer. It's not as good as you'd think. Like, I'm tempted just to say, well, this is my tank. And even like a Titanite might make sense. And I don't know, Multi-Strike might be better served on a Horn Warrior if the plan is to like put a Rage Room there. Quick could be okay on the Horn Warrior. Some minor health to things like Morsel Maker is fine, and just the fact that this is the only hittable steel. Granted, if I go left, we could get maybe some high rolls. Oh man, there's so much value over here. The free artifact, 395 gold with the Merchant of Trinkets. Armory's okay. I mean, this is tough. I still need to hit another Pyro Remain node as well. Like, could hit this if I. What is it? If I were to do right now, what would it be? I don't have a good dupe. I really don't. So, in a horrible situation, say I never really find anything much better, I could hit this steel, which has a Pyro Remains, an Alcove, meaning I could do this without hitting the steel. Because, I mean, I could go to the right here, and what's the brick scenario? If I find another Endless, I wouldn't want it, almost certainly. If I find Large Stone, I probably don't want that. I could put it on the Horn Warrior, but then I need a combo of Smidge Stone with it. Smidge Stone I would want, Multi-Strike I would want, but here's the thing, they aren't world-beating, and Titanite could be okay, but again, not world-beating with my current deck. And, you know, Quick, it's just kind of okay. Everything at the steel is just okay. Whereas if I go left, there's a chance I could just brick everything, but that chance is so low. And there's still a chance I could brick everything on the right. I mean, for the most part, because I don't know. I just don't see a whole lot of ceiling going to the right here. Even like if I get a rare Umbra Banner, none of them are really that good for me. And so it's just a Vortex, really. But if I go left here, then, you know, who knows what will happen between now and then. There's so many artifacts that could help me out, and even the Armory to some degree. So I think we actually go left here. Railhammer. I think the Jack Strips is pretty good because we lack AoE right now, and it would definitely help with that. The only unfortunate thing is it's not like necessarily super good in Dominion. It does help with killing those corruption junk guys, so I definitely will take that. I think. Let's check what this is. We don't want those to come back. This I would want to come back, but not at the expense of these coming back. So we'll just take that. Well, if I needed front-loaded damage, we go Fight Club. I don't think I need front-loaded damage. I mean, I might. I don't really have front-loaded damage to some degree. You know, I have the Consumer of Crowns, which seems like front-loaded damage. It really isn't in the context of the end game. Reaper also just takes a little bit to get going. So, like, maybe, but this is not even that much it's front-loaded damage in the same regard that Consumer of Crowns is front-loaded damage. It's like, well, it's front-loaded damage for, like, the first and mid parts of the game, but it's not enough front-loaded. Like, I need, like, a Forever Consumed if I want front-loaded damage, you know what I mean? But a Meat Shield, that helps me survive Dominion on a lot of different things, and it just helps my tank, generally speaking, survive. Granted, I think it's a good thing. I don't know. I'll take the Meat Shield. I'll take that. Railhammer is tempting. Right now, I don't actually have any armor, though. Other than the plate mail, obviously. We're not taking it for that. I mean, we're past the point we can really find much of the armor cards that would benefit from Railhammer a whole lot. You know, can't find a Steelworker, can't find Pauldrons. I guess I could get a branded. I guess March and branding right would be the best case scenarios for it, but is that really worth my money to do that? I could just re-roll this, honestly. If I re-roll it, we're looking at 155 gold. And 155, we can afford one for sure, I would say, just speaking in general. And these all came in pretty expensive as is. Is it worth the gold to retry here? I could also technically take Consume Crown. It's just so irrelevant, though. It is just kind of so irrelevant. Be much better off getting like a Gurg's Goad, or even a, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm like, I don't know, Deployment Ember, Deployment Equipment Help, Room to every floor. Like, there's just so much better stuff. Let's reroll. Whew. And I literally found two of the ones I just talked about. These are so cheap, too. Well, this is a tough call. Obviously, Gurg's Goad doesn't work with the Prince, even though I feel it should. But it's still going to be pretty powerful with the Consumer of Crowns and the Horned Warrior. Easily, that's the one that is the most immediately powerful to me. Also, the Whetstone has now the problem of a Stoic Plate Mail being drawn up, but that's still at the end of the world. I would just put it on the Consumer of Crowns. Of course, maybe I'm not deploying Consumer of Crowns sometimes. Gurg's Goad, though, on the other hand, immediately gives me 100 extra damage, plus we're going to be Rage Rooming a lot of the time. Granted, I'm not guaranteed to get it out at the start if I'm not going to hit the upcoming Merchant of Arms. But I could. I may just do that. I don't know. I might be pretty inclined to do that if I go. Honestly, with either of these picks, I'm probably pretty inclined to do that in either case. Like, I could just deploy the Plate Mail if I think that a Carapace is more important to me, for example. Problem though is, like, I feel like Gurg's Goad, I guess we can hit the steel. It's really awkward. My thoughts are, like, if I don't get quick on, like, Horned Warrior, I guess, the Gurg's Goad might fall short in the end game, because whereas, like, the Whetstone does give me survivability. I think my main concern is just being able to survive with my units right now. I still have to scale them as well. That's a concern, but it's not the immediate concern. That my survivability already sucks, so it's going to be even more miserable in the Dominion fight. But if I can just guarantee that I'm getting a Carapace out and for free in the early game, that kind of changes things a bit. And here's the thing too, I could merge it with something like the meat. I guess I would have to, but merging it with a meat shield makes decent sense. So the plan, if I take the whetstone, is we hit the upcoming Merchant of Arms. I mean, I could hit the very final one too, if I'm not that desperate. Like, I don't feel like I'm necessarily desperate right now. The more desperate play would be the Gurg's Goad. I think the Gurg's Goad oddly has less upside. So I can still hit this magic. Is the magic even that good for me? I'm starting to wonder if it is. So I could take this whetstone, hit this Merchant of Arms. I don't know. I'm giving up another vortex. I'm taking the whetstone, I think. I think there's just more I can do with it. Still gives me value right now. Just don't know exactly what that value will be. Okay, so if it's Carapace first, do I actually just put it on consumer? Since we are dealing with multi-striking enemies, and we don't have a good way to prevent them from multi-striking me. I also, yeah, because I'm like, I don't think so. I think I'm going to give you I will give you the extra damage shield. I'll put this here, this here. Kind of feel like I just hit both arms. That way I can... I'm trying to think. I have 8 cards. I can deploy 2 more cards, and I still got 10. So, yeah, I'm thinking... It's kind of weak. Turn. Definitely need to take a draw upgrade with my second upgrade, I think. This... Yeah, these, and that's why I'm starting to think, though. I'm like, do I need to hit these vortexes? Because I'm poor eternally here, it seems. Because I've hit too many trinket shops, and I even spent rerolls, so... Oddly, I think health is more needed here. Probably. Maybe just more... that. I'm actually fine not getting a thing there. Why did I do it that way? Torch just kills these guys naturally anyway. That was stupid. Oh, whatever. Alright, easy scaling. Probably now is as good a time as ever to do this. I could do this. Or I could just try to replay it. I could just do that. Of course, if I replay it, probably draw it the same turn as Crucible Extension, which means I can't scale that. So I think I will just do that, I guess. It's looking pretty likely if I have this thing die, that it's just going to be bit wasted. So we should let it live, kill one of these. Just throw this away. Right, get this finally. I'll lose all of my damage shield here kind of pointlessly, but it's pretty hard to preserve it in this fight. They're all dying anyway, so it's not like I need to preserve anything here. Oh, he's dazed, so I'm not even worried. Yeah, that's fine. I guess we put this here. I forgot about the revenge component here. I actually gain a lot of revenge from that. This is fine. This guy should definitely be able to take this guy on. If I could do this, I don't think it helps me. Yeah. Just could do this if I want to. Makes sense. I was killing him anyway, but I could take a march. Yeah, obviously that would have been the best thing to play with Railhammer, but just for the shift component could be useful sometimes. You know, if we got these hidden passages, and Prince may have situations where I can't get something in front, but I could like bring it up and then bring it forward. Pretty specific scenario though. Without a drop grade, it's harder to pull off. I would have to get like permafrost to really pull that off. You know, I don't know. It's still okay. It's definitely not the other things. Take it. Probably skip these unless I think I need a grovel. I don't think so. And with the Dane's Footstool, we just don't want that engine upgrade, unfortunately. So, moment of truth. Which way do I go here? I feel like I will want to hit this. But I kind of want to hit this too. So if I go to the right, we'll merge Meat Shield with Overgross Carapace. And then deploy, because I don't care about the room that much, but then I'll just deploy Plate Mail. Honestly, it's a pretty strong play. And then at the final Merchant of Arms, I can, if I really want to, I can deploy the Rage Room. But priorities on the equipment. I think that's pretty strong play to make. And I need the Pyre Health, so let's do it. We got the Quick Dagger. Ooh, that's tempting. Man. And the other route we could go is we just live with not getting always the equipment that we want out, but just add a bunch of value equipment, because like Stasis Crystal's pretty good. Not in this deck maybe though. This is probably just a skip. But one thing I am wondering here is like, is Quicksteel Dagger better than Meat Shield? Because I can also do this. It does combo with the plate mail decently well. You know what though? Plate mail is almost always going on consumer, so yeah, I'm just not seeing it. I could re-roll, but is there anything significantly better than Meat Shield with the carrot? Honestly, yeah, Void Armaments would be significantly better. Gorge equipment would be better. That would incentivize me to put, you know, the morsel maker on the floor. My life would be easier right now. Well, no, never mind. I was going to say, had I deployed Overgrowth Carapace, my life would be easier. That's actually a lie. It would be much harder if I done that. I just don't want to waste the money re-rolling here, unless there's a high chance that I can get some sort of equipment better than Meat Shield to merge into this thing. So Equalizing Rings, no. VT Blade, no. Excel Diadem, yes. That would be better, I guess. Which is annoying because I had the Diadem as a choice. But I'm pretty sure when I chose between Meat Shield and Diadem, I didn't know that I was getting the Attuned Whetstone. So in my defense, I don't think that was a thing. Iron Tongue, no. Yeah, nothing here for sure. Void Armament would really be the only one. Void Armament would definitely be better. I could, man, maybe I could have argued the Stasis Crystal as well, but the implication here, it would remove my ability if I'm putting it on Reaper Prince, and I feel like this equipment is very often just going on Reaper Prince. But yeah, certainly giving him an extra strike would be gigantic. Gigantic. And then the only other equipment we can find is the Umbra equipment, which is kind of weird with the fact that we would probably still want to put it with the Overgrowth Carapace because, you know, you're growing to 6 pip, and even if I do something like put a Morsel Maker on the floor, then I'm not actually getting my Overgrowth Carapace to proc, I think. Actually, I think it still procs because the morsels eat first. And then I guess it would make sense. So that's the main one. Our 2 rares. It would be Void Armament and the Glutton Maw. Those would be the things that would beat out Meat Shield right now. Kind of the only ones that would. And the additional implication here, though, is that I would have to... Because the Meat Shield doesn't merge so well with the plate mail, but I probably would still have to merge it just because it's cheaper than a removal in the context that I'm probably going to want to remove a bunch of cards. And all this at 75 gold, but I don't really need much gold coming up. I think it's worth a reroll just to see. Yeah. Well, there's also Hall of Mirrors. That is potentially interesting with the Consumer of Crowns, but not enough for me to care too much. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in some degree it's also interesting with the Prince, but just not really. We'll just do what we're going to do. So this Carapace will go with the... I mean, I also just don't have to do this right now. I could put the Meat Shield into the plate mail. Because is the Meat Shield even that good? I don't know. Because if we are going to hit another Merchant of Arms, can I just hold out? I mean, I could still find a Glutton Maw right here. And to a lesser degree, I could still find it right here. And I could still find it right here. Is a Meat Shield even that good? It's just kind of there and helping a little bit with the corruption damage and hits here and there. It's not going to be enough heal to be that relevant in the late game, but yeah, it is like 30 heal a turn, but that's not technically enough on its own. I think we do it though. It's probably just we'll live with the consequences if something better comes along. We'll deploy this. It is what it is. We should make a removal. Get rid of... I don't know, the planks are pretty bad. The planks are pretty bad. Leave some gold here. Alright, I need you to get the damage shield so that you can go top. Go there. They're just always getting rage room, apparently. Alright, that is not a bad opener. I feel decent about taking a draw upgrade, I think, if that's my opening turn. Granted, I still will need one more Ember, though, to play this, if I'm going to deploy that. So that I can get the Crucible extension guaranteed out top. I'll have to pay attention to these turns and see how... This is a really good start. This is the type of start we've been dreaming about. Well, I can put this here. It's still fine. I still continually grow. I mean, it makes sense to do this. So, yeah, we'll do it. That. I'll actually use the ability here just so I can get 2 slays. Because this guy's gonna... He's gonna be pretty buff, but not buff enough now. And I don't need to, like, bring him up or anything. And Jackstrips kills this thing anyway, so why don't we just kill that. We can just put that there. Just put some damage here, I guess. Guess I should put that in front. It doesn't really matter. So far, we haven't been wanting more energy, but we are using all of our energy. This is a turn where one more energy would slightly help, particularly if I had a double stack. If this thing's going to be dying, though, and needing to be replayed eventually here, then I could see a world where Ember upgrade makes sense. I'm okay redrawing that for the boss fight. This guy's gigantic. get an extra kill there. I can also just remove Rage Room, because, like, it's okay right now. I don't know that it's going to be that relevant. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, honestly, it depends on what my rare here is. Like, all I really need is a Furnace Tap, and Prince can pretty much solo carry the end game. Pretty good damage there. And we get our ability coming up. This is a tough call. Problem is, if I take a drop grade, I will want Ember. You know what I mean? And if I take Ember right now, I draw through three additional cards of my deck. That's not necessarily true. I draw through 2 cards of my deck because I can't actually play the Shield Stewards. I mean, I could. It's hard to say. It's tricky because now the Nim's Oath kind of works against me because I don't have the predictability of if turn 1 Seraph is going to be dazed, but, like, you know, if turn 1 Seraph is dazed, then I can put one of those stewards top floor and just chunk that hit if they're not dazed. But if they are dazed, then they're just sitting there eating up space, which obviously sucks. Yeah, unfortunately, these are not super informing my decision here. I mean, I will say this too. We're hitting this. I don't even know if we're hitting this magic. Like, let me think about this. You know, I'd kind of laid out, like, what happens if we never get a better dupe, and we never did get a better dupe, right? And nothing has changed about that with this choice here. So I don't know. It's the Empyrean Well's not that useful to me right now. I could just go left, and the Pyro Remains isn't useful because I'm back to full Pyro health, but the Alcove could be really good maybe. Later the Alcove, the better. And then I can actually make use of some upgrades, but the upgrades are just going on the Consumer of Crowns and the Horn Wearer, and I guess the Morsel Maker. They aren't necessarily that good. Oops. I mean, what are we really looking for? Nothing's changed with the Merchant of Steel's, like, worth to me. It's not super worth. Not super worth. Like, I get some extra health. The Consumer of Crowns. I do want a draw upgrade. I think I do want to hit this magic. The thing is, Empyrean Well could be good. I mean, if I can get, I'll take the Forever Consumed for sure here. If I can get Holdover Perils and Spell Chain it, that would be the nuts. If I get Holdover on Perils, that's still pretty good, but not amazing. But even just like a cost reduction on the Forever Consumed becomes a pretty good dupe. Just cost reduce it twice. I think that solves a lot of issues, but or consume remove on Prismal Dust is pretty good. And now I've got dupes, so we have to brick pretty hard. I think we gotta try for it. Alright, we got consume remove paired with a -2. That can go either way. That can go, I can do that on a Forever Consumed, or I can just put it on the Prismal Dust. I'm pretty sure I just put it on the Prismal Dust and now we have a dupe. Because defense is still a very big question. And now I can just totally dupe this. Plus 10 here is fine. I got enough Pyre health, I really don't want to worry about Holy Stone. Double stack Spell Chain, yeah. Well, that sucks. That's not really what I want to see here. Even this late, I don't know that like double stack Ritual is super worth, but that might be what I have to do here. It sucks though, because the Forever Consumed is a little worse, but this thing at a 2 cost able to scale me 48 damage, it might just be pretty good. Nothing really benefits big from Spell Chain. Yeah, we'll do that. But we definitely now we made some offense. Let's for sure dupe the Prismal Dust. Play that pretty often. Culling 3 is so good, but without any one-harm tome, no trample. I mean, I would say this is a curse seed for sure. Like there was not much offered on this run. To go through that, to have that late of dupes and be questioning that I have a good dupe, certainly curse seed. I mean, assuming I can't really assume that I'm getting 2 slays is the problem, but it's like, if I did get 2 slays, my slay is technically equal here, my starting attack is equal, my starting health is more or less the same. But I can use my attack every time with this. So it's already like multi-strike, right? Granted, I get every 3 turns I can get an extra 2 strikes, but is that better? Because this is a quick strike every turn, which might just be better. I think wait for 3. There's still a slight chance I could get trample, or I mean, the rares are so hard to find now, but there is a slight chance technically that I could find whatchamacallit. I think we can do this to try to kill some Scourge Shufflers with 23 targeted damage. That's fine, and we probably should purge another Plink. I feel like maybe the Spear Stewards are still somewhat more useful. Alright, let's do it. -1 Ember a turn is kind of rough. Well, let's think, what does that mean for me? That I have 5 deployment Ember, so I get you out, and then I have to make a choice between either Stoic Plate Mill, I guess, or Horned Warrior. Horned Warrior is just gonna die, I guess, to the sweepers most of the time. A little worried here. This is the last fight I wanted to see. Do I need that gold? I feel like I need the gold, but I don't need it. You know, it's like if all I'm to do here is to put deployable on, like, do I even care to put deployable on Rage Room? Because right now I can't deploy it anyway. Comfortably. With 6 Ember. I mean, with 6 Ember, I'm already putting the plate mail down along with the consumer, along with the Horned Warrior. So, you know, extra gold. Who knows? Maybe I just set up mid. At least allows me to torch these assassins to death after they've been jackstripped, and I just have to live with taking some damage, and then have Rax be, you know, potentially an issue. But I think it'll be fine as long as I keep some space above, you know, 6. So I got 7 space. I don't have to play the Morsel Maker up there. So I have 4 plus, so I have 10 pip space, sorry. So 10 pip space. Then I get 6. I'm just trying to think. I should be able to beat Rax as long as I can replay Consumer. But the only way I can replay Consumer is if I don't take this trial. Fuck. I think we just don't take the trial. This is too hard. Could have took any other trial, just fine. Okay. I think we gotta go mid with this, with our boy here. Just trying to think where I want this damage shield to go. I've already committed to this, huh? It is what it is. I don't think the Horned Warrior is necessarily that important. I mean, in that sense, I don't even really need to play it. But we do need to go... I can probably still... Yeah, we'll go mid. I'm going to try to keep my pyre health here. If I can somehow help it. Just put this here, I think. Trying both of them same turn is certainly not ideal. But I guess I'm going to need to do this just to get some damage here. Kill that for now. Kill it in general. We can just do this. Should have put that in front. So I'm not going to get the collector either. How important is it for me to get this Crucible extension down? Pretty important. I could just do this. That takes care of a lot of my issues. The other option is I could have done it there and kill it immediately, but I just don't want to take this pyre health. Maybe that turn wasn't the best. Not getting slays, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, I can at least put the, well... That guy's gonna hit me for sure, unless I want to put Prince up and just stop my scaling, but I don't think I want to do that. This guy's dead no matter what. I do want to take one of these guys out though. Put this in front, it still lives. Then I can get rid of this. Take that hit from that other guy. Should be preparing for Rax. I mean, I can just hidden passage Rax up 6 out of 10 times. And then that's solving that fight, I'm pretty sure. Then I don't have to worry about this. I'm just wondering, like, because I could go... Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. So I'm doing that for sure. And then I guess this kills that. Yeah, we're fine. This is fine. I don't even have to worry about Rax now. Get Ember, I guess. Block one of these hits. I'll actually just move this guy up now. What do you resolve? Resolve, you only gain Spell Shield and a multi-strike and some rage. It doesn't matter too much when I'm doing 500 damage, right? I'm just trying to prevent my pyre health from getting hit here. And then I can replay Consumer next turn. And I'll have all of this. I think I like it. Yeah, we got him. Alright, well, we get through that fight. Sucks that we got, like, no gold, though. God, this seed sucks. Can't even get, like, a tiresome climb or something. Definitely a cursed seed. Finally get a good card, but it's not even that good for this deck. Like, I don't know. I don't really see how adding that helps. I mean, the deck is very sorry. It's like, I don't know, man. It's in a rough spot. It's in a rough spot for sure. I am definitely regretting not taking the Prismal Retrieval. You know, granted, I would have had to remove the stewards instead of the thing, but it's still, I don't know. We didn't find intrinsic, so without intrinsic, it wouldn't be that good of a play anyway. And sometimes you just draw the unit right alongside it anyway, and then you can't use it. It's, you know, maybe I don't regret it now, just listing all those things out. So the only real consideration here is Shroud Spike, unless I want the Excavation Ruffian to sometimes kill a, you know, Scourge Shuffler, which it's not nothing, but it's also a bit of a problem. I just don't know. Probably need all the gold I can get. I just don't see how Shroud Spike does anything here. I mean, I got the Morsel Maker, so maybe. Does seem like we may want to go to the right. If I can get a Concern Remove, it'd be pretty sick. I haven't been able to play Morsel Maker, though. That's the problem. The annoying thing is, in that fight, I probably could have took the Ember upgrade, or the Ember trial, and I'd be $400 richer. It was hard for me to really evaluate how that fight was going to go. So it turns out I didn't really need to replay the Consumer, which is a big part of that. I probably would have took some more pyre damage is about it. But I probably would have gladly taken 400 pyre, you know, 400 gold in that scenario. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Nah. So if I go left, the gold is pretty useful to hopefully just buy trinkets. If I can't get Ember in deployment just in the initial set here, then I really don't see a giant advantage in making the Rage Room deployable. It's still useful though. Like, I would probably just not play the Horned Warrior, I guess, to start out with, which kind of goes around, makes the Rage Room a bit worse, but you know, it's okay. We'll go left. Come on, what the hell? What is this shit? Those are so completely useless things. I mean, I guess I can permafrost these, but I'm always wanting to play them. I could permafrost the Consumer of Crowns. Well, our choice is between Crystallized Wings, then, specifically for crowns. Oh, there's a Glutton Maw. Damn it. Such a good card, but it's so late for me to try to pivot to it. I mean, the thing is, it's a 15-15 every turn. God, this would have been so much better than the fucking... Yeah, this would have been so much better than the stupid Meat Shield. It's like pretty much just almost... If in the context of me playing a Morsel Maker on that floor and being able to guarantee that I can hit Glutton Maw every turn, it's like pretty close to the same stats that I'm getting from the Bogworm Growth. The other thing I could do It'd be weird, but honestly, I'm debating it. Is since I'm permafrosting consumer anyway, let me just make sure I can do the money here. So that's 130, 170, 200, 170. So I can't do deployable and merge if I'm going to do that. But my thought is I could put Stoic Plate Mail, merge it with Iron Tongue, and don't play Consumer to start with, but put down Horn Warrior and put the the stats together, or put the combined card together, Stoic Plate Mail and Iron Tongue, and then I'm killing the Scourge Shufflers every turn and backliners, and I can, in most cases, I should be fine to play the Consumer on the first turn, and then also get some extra damage shield. That seems like a good play. And I don't have to worry about getting the right room out at the start. I think we do that. I know it makes for 3 Deployment Ember, but that's why we're just not playing the Consumer. And if I want, I can do the Boiler Room, I guess, but I don't really want that. And then do... And here's the thing, too. It's like, I could dupe this merged equipment and... I need to be careful too. So I got 1, 2, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I must have miscounted there. 8. Is it still at 8, I guess? I was at 8 last I counted. Am I still at 8? I thought I would have changed stuff. I guess I've not changed anything there. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the champ. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the champ, 7 with one of the rooms being pulled out, 8, 9. I'm at 9. So I could do 1 deployable card and not have any downside. So I could dupe Consumer of Crowns, I guess is what I'm saying, if it's going to be permafrosted in any way. And then I can have something to maybe keep Prince alive with. And it's at no downside to me technically if I'm not putting anything else on the floor once I get the Crucible extension down. You know, I'll have a 6-pip Prince, and I can put the 3-pip Consumer. I still got 1 pip to spare in that scenario. Wait, is that true? Am I doing my math here right? No, it's not true. That means I will not be No, it would be 9. It's 5 pip normally, and then it goes to 9. That would be 9 pip. So unit would go to 6. So he wouldn't be gaining stats. But that's okay. Is a 2020 really that important past the point that I'm kind of buff, right? I feel like it might not be that important. Otherwise, we can just dupe the Prismal Dust. Or the Ritual. Or the Hornbreak. I think Prince's survivability is... It should be okay if I get the Prismal Dust. So let's dupe the Prismal Dust. So who gets the damage shield? The damage shield going to Prince. He's got 1... So 4, I got some Morsel Maker. We got Rage Room as opener every single time, huh? I think we do want to go bottom here. Is that true? I think it is, because we want to sweep that stuff. Damage shield here. Go get that. We got Permafrosted Guy. We'll just play that unless we got really good cards, I guess. We just do this. Get that out ASAP. Alright, we got that. And, okay, this is a really good start. This is a really good start. Let's put you down first. Oh, the start is just absolutely beautiful. And here's what I'm talking about. Like the days here, I don't know, maybe I can predict it. It's a 50-50. It might even be 100% now that I think about it. I don't take Nim's Oath enough to know the interaction here, but this is why I'm saying like a steward up here wouldn't have been a necessarily super great situation to be in. Alright, so they're all dying. I could play one of these here to preserve a damage shield, I guess. And get rid of that. That's fine. You dying is okay. Keep you alive to some degree, though. Could hold this for a better turn. I'm only taking 10 here, but I do get hit by this, which sucks. Is that true? No, I'm just dying to the corruption. I might as well make the corruption get limited here then. So let's go take some of them out now, I guess. I think I'm actually okay just playing this. This is a pretty good turn just to play this. So we want to limit the amount of times that Seraph comes up here, I'm pretty sure. Keep you alive. Why are you dying? Oh, it's action. I thought it was on strike. That's right. Well, that is fine, I guess. Probably would have preferred the health there. I'll just keep further consumed. I doubt I'll be able to play this relevantly ever. Did I forget to use my ability that other turn? I think I did. Damn it. Well, is rage important here? It probably is. I think I do want to play this too, just to keep, you know, potentially trolling the guy. Stacking damage shield here is probably better than 10 armor. We just need to stack as much here as possible. Ah, I forgot to do the ability again. Oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. I'm so very, very bad. Alright, I'll remember it this time. Kinda need to play this turn, I feel. That's fine. Keep this going here. Getting it done, slowly but surely. Morsel-Maker is going to die, which is actually good for me. That means I can replay the dude on this floor eventually if I have to. I can use Forever Consumed this turn if I need it. Looks like I might. Although there's a lot of ways I can do this turn. Like, I could just pull this guy forward, but, let's see, 80. Let's do that, I think. If I want to preserve this higher health, we should put him down this turn, even though it doesn't give me as good of stuff otherwise, but I think it still makes sense. Alright. Alright, that's a kill. I haven't thought one bit about the Titans, really. So everything I've thought about has been geared towards Seraph here. So hopefully this is good enough. I mean, I will say this. The same concepts that apply to everything I just did should apply to this fight as well. I got a lot of pyre health going into it. Dominion will die quick. I just need to make sure that Hornbreaker Prince is able to get enough damage here. I think we got to do the same setup more or less, but the problem is Hornbreaker, or Horn Warrior might die quicker. Fuck. We go mid, I think. I don't have to go bottom floor. Looks like we get the Crucible extension this time. I think we do the same exact setup. The problem here, though, is, you know, Morsel Maker. I could put Morsel Maker in front. I should have put the damage shield there then. This is a fight where putting the Steward in front probably makes sense. Obviously sucks to some degree, but then I can at least get through two of these, because eventually, I don't know, it's like eventually I need Horn Warrior to, Horn Warrior is essential to making sure that I don't need extra hits with the Prince. Maybe I can survive up top. I think I can survive up top of this without having to put Consumer above, because Consumer really has to protect Horn Warrior. It just has to happen. Okay. So we know we want this, which means I think we just want to maybe preserve this a bit. For now, maybe we want this, actually. I really do need this guy to live. Forgot to do my ability. I need him first thing each turn here, just to make sure I hit that ability. Alright, this guy has to come down, I think. He doesn't absolutely have to come down this turn, but probably would be wise. Put this in front. Actually, put that in front. Put that there. If we want to limit corruption, we had to get the guy down that turn, so. Out of there for sure. Could put this in front. It does steal a thing of morsels, but what are you gonna do? Now I could either torch that. This fight's gonna go on long enough that maybe the Pyrelight is just not super necessary right now. Just trying to limit some damage here. Try to keep this guy alive to some degree. Let's move one of these up. Hidden Passage will be definitely useful in this fight. Save ourselves some pyre health. I definitely want this guy to not take all that damage. 4x2. Why is this doing so much damage? 7x2. Go here and here. I'm not playing Firelights just because I'm like, this fight is going to go on a long time. Pretty good timing there. I'm tempted just to draw back into that. So I can save myself another 5 pyre health. But I can also maybe justify a pyre light here. I do want to play this, I'm pretty sure. I need to get this damage going. There's just nobody else that's going to benefit from this rage. So the only question here is like Pyre Light or Spear Steward. Because this guy already got the damage shield buff. I think we just don't... Oh, I guess I don't have a choice. Alright, well, that makes my choice easier. Of entropies. This is not great. It's just going to cause me an extra 3 damage, most likely. I mean, I could do that. Does mean all of these guys get extra damage, though. I mean, realistically, I take care of this just fine. I need to make sure that this guy's not dying. I don't know, does this help me or hurt me? If anything, I should put it down here, but I also just don't want to redraw this to some degree. Like, you know, like, really I need to hit these Prismal Dusts more often. I think that's the main thing I need to be doing. So I'm gonna hold it, because I don't want to redraw it. I can use it here if I really have to. I can also just move this guy up. But honestly, just killing it here is fine. This guy comes up. It does hit me 1 extra time. Also wondering, like, if I do that... You know, I'm going to have to incant here anyway if I want to make this turn be okay. So why don't we just move them up? We'll just cut our losses there. I should have moved that guy up too, but I felt like I might need this damage shield more. Oh, there's that guy too. Well... move that guy up. I don't really want to. this, I think. No sense holding the thing, because I'm going to have to play the dude here anyway. Yeah, this turn is kind of just cheeks anyway. That guy doing the damage there is not good though. But it is what it is, we're just going to deal with it. Got another thing on the way. I've still got half this guy's health to go through. Alright. Which is actually not a deal, not too big a deal at the amount of damage I'm doing. I'm kind of thinking I need to just go all in on this Prismal Dust though. What do you think? There's a lot of fucking things coming in here. Yeah, I can't imagine a better use for my Ember here than just fully going in there. We can take 12 here, but that's okay. I'm going to have to put this guy down. I think, even though there's a Silencer, I'm pretty sure Chain of Gems still procs. We got a ways to go through still here with the Entropy, but eventually I can start trampling. But we're about halfway through our Pyre health, which is obviously an issue. Do have some choices to make here. Fuck. We're going to take some extra Pyre health anyway here. I don't know that I can put this guy down this turn. I mean, I can survive a little bit. I've got 40 to spare here. I'll put the Consumer down next turn. I really have to do this, I think, just to save my Pyre health. Is there any way I can, like... I mean, if I get a Hidden Passage next turn... Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Okay. Just need to do some damage here. I suppose there's a world I could just move this guy up, and then, or either, I could move either of them up. I don't know, I still need to deal with that, though. I should just move that guy up anyway. We gotta keep this guy happy. But, like, eventually I'm gonna need to protect you-know-who here. Too bad that doesn't spill over. Yeah, time's coming short to fuck. Horned Warrior's time is about to come to an end. Unless I can get Prismal Dust next turn, maybe a Hornbreak. Hornbreak does 18 twice, that's 36. Just trying to think if I need to like displace any of these units in any particular order. But we dazed this. That's super clutch here. I don't have to worry about doing anything there. Let's just do this. I'll take one of... I guess I'll take this guy out. That keeps him alive at least. This guy's dying to the sweepers anyway. We got entropy down to 1,000. I just need to get like 2 good hits in here. Oh yeah, we got it. Okay. I was worried about nothing. For some reason I was thinking I need to like break through 2 more times, but wow, that was a tough seed. I can see why this one was submitted. Honestly, it's one of the tougher ones I've played in a long time, I feel. It's not to say there wasn't some powerful... To me, that shows that Reaper Prince is a very good champ path, given what the fuck that seed was. I mean, there was nothing on that seed. I'm using a Consumer of Crowns, Endless, with no imps. Granted, there was 1 imp offered. What a horrible deck, you know, like, and it's like there's a perils, and maybe if I went hunting for more Merchant of Magics, we eventually find a holdover or something, but then it's like, it's not even that good, because, you know, there's no Furnace Tap, there's no Umberstone, there's no Void Binding, like, there's nothing actually interacting with it that much. I mean, there's really just nothing on this run other than like some equipment, some okay artifacts. Reaper Prince just hard carries the shit out of that run. But yeah, obviously I still needed the other stuff, right? I needed to be able to stall for 5,000 turns to beat everything at the end there. Crystallized Ring plus the Consumer of Crowns, that was a hell of a run. Thank you for that submission. I feel like I haven't played a run like that in ages. So we got full Reaper Prince. And I will say, having the extra money would be nice from Quilling Cutler, but the days certainly seemed like it helped me a lot too. I don't know though. Maybe the Quilling Quetcher was better. It could have been. They did go with a few different artifacts here, it looks like. We saw the same ones, we made the choice to go with the other ones, right? Glutton's Maw. So they just kind of went with a bunch of different equipment, which makes sense because they're choosing the Gurk's Goat over the more targeted thing to be able to do stuff like this comfortably. They went with the Alpha Fiend. Looks like there was a Savagery upgrade. They went with Titan Skin on it. So, I mean, that's funny because I'm trying to think, did we see Alpha Fiend? I think we did. It was like the Ring 3 one. So, like, while they did not end up with Consumer, they kind of ended up with a similar situation where you basically have a unit that's not really meant to be a tank having to be your tank, right? That's just what happens sometimes. At least the Alpha Fiend costs less, so it might even just be a better tank. And if we had done the upgrades of Endless, it would have persisted its attack, which is something too. So there was a holdover perils. There was no... At least they didn't have a spell chain with it though, so it wasn't necessarily... You know, as we kind of saw, I don't know that holdover perils necessarily does too much. Yeah, it's not like massively different, I would say, of a deck. To me, it looks like, and they got the same like Prismal Dust. So like, Well, it does seem that they probably hit some better Merchant of Magic stuff here. Like I see Intrinsic as well. Um, and they had the 400 gold from the thing at the end, or this thing. And if I were to guess, it still was probably Hornbreaker Prince putting in most of the work. Kind of like ours. This is Lyra Kell. They got the same exact merge equipment that we have. So their Alpha Fiend is more of like the max value out of the roll that you want out of the unit, right? Smidge stoning it and multi-striking it, having it be a backliner and scale up and kill stuff. And actually, they got a pretty good tank here too with Shadow Eater. I really like Lyra Kill's deck here. You can tell they definitely took different routes. They took those Umbra, the Umbra paths. So they got Morsel Maker plus Shadow Eater actually doing what my Horned Warrior was doing, right? With clearing out a bunch of the junk. Forever consumed. A lot less artifacts, which is interesting because they have the Quilling Catcher. They must have really poured the money into other stuff, upgrades, maybe a bunch of removals. I'm guessing. I guess I'm the only one that went with the Consumer of Crowns. That is interesting though, because does that mean? Oh no, this person did. The original submitter went with Consumer of Crowns, but they didn't really. Looks like they didn't necessarily use it, so to speak, with without making it endless or something. But see, there's Double Gorge artifact too. I was gonna say though, for the other players, it's interesting. Maybe they just removed their Consumer of Crown, but because I don't know. I feel like starting with the Hornbreaker Prince Reaper path and with a Hornbreaker Warrior or Horned Warrior, I assume that maybe they're going the Merchant of Magic ring too. I don't know. If you're watching this, let me know. But that does seem a little risky if that's what they did. Or alternatively, going to the Merchant of Steel and not picking, because it was Consumer of Crowns versus Horned Warrior as the upgrade. So I feel like generally I would have said go Steel there and also just settle for the Consumer of Crowns because you need something with health, right? Now, granted, it looks like you find a Shadow Eater, I'm guessing, at that other merchant, so it ends up fine. But what if you didn't? What if you found just like Morsel Master plus Alloyed Construct or something, right? Then you're gonna have you probably could die that ring too, but this is still interesting. I like this seed because it's like everybody actually kind of had a lot of different stuff here and there. But yeah, that was a long run. I'm fatigued. I need to go pass out. Thank you for that submission. That was a fun one. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, peace.